Before we dive into the episode, I just wanted to tell you about the Moms Make Money Collective community, where we host free networking events every single month. If you are interested in learning more about how you can connect with other moms in business and build out your referral network, then go to momsmakemoneycollective.com/networking today and sign up for the free community. I hope to see you inside. All right, let's jump into the episode. Feeling burnt out at just the thought of scaling your service-based business as a mom entrepreneur? You're not alone. In today's episode, I break down how to scale your service-based business without the burnout, so let's jump in. Welcome to the Moms Make Money podcast. I'm your host, Jenny. I'm the owner of Moms Make Money Collective, a podcast and visibility strategist and mom of two. Many moms feel like we need to sacrifice our careers for our children, but I wholeheartedly believe that we can have a thriving business and family at the same time. In this podcast, we're going to be diving into the ins and outs of running a business as a mom and getting real and raw about all things parenting. So buckle up because we're about to go all in. Welcome back to another episode of Moms Make Money, the podcast where we talk about building a profitable service-based business in part-time hours so that you can spend more time with your family. I'm your host, Jenny, and today we're diving into a topic that is crucial for all mom entrepreneurs, and that is how to scale your business without burning out. If you're a busy mom trying to balance it all, you know how easy it is to feel stretched too thin. You want to grow your business, but you're also juggling family and home life and a million other things. So how do you grow sustainably without feeling like you're sacrificing your sanity or time with your kids? That's what we're covering today. Buckle up. Let's get into it. So first, I want to start by addressing the big elephant in the room, and that is burnout. As moms, we are often expected to do it all, to be the CEO of our business, the caretaker at home, the chauffeur, the cook, the cleaner. As you know, the list is endless. When we try to scale our business without the right systems or boundaries in place, burnout isn't just a possibility. Honestly, it's almost a guarantee. So here are some common signs that you might be heading towards burnout. Number 1, you feel exhausted all the time, no matter how much sleep you got. It never feels like enough. Number 2, you start to resent your business because it feels like just one more thing on your to-do list. Number 3, you feel your creativity and motivation start to dwindle. Number 4, you feel like you're failing as a mom or a business owner, or even both. Any of these sound familiar? Don't worry, you're not alone, and there are ways to scale without falling into this trap. So really the first step to scaling your business without burnout is by shifting your mindset. So many of us believe that we need to hustle 24/7 to succeed, but that's simply not the case. What's more important than working harder is really working smarter. I know that sounds like a cliche, but seriously. Here is a mindset shift that I want you to adopt, and that is your time is your most valuable resource. Every task that you take on should be evaluated with this question in mind. Does this bring me closer to my goals, or can someone else handle it? Scaling doesn't mean that you have to do more. It means that your business has to do more. And that starts with you delegating and focusing on what only you can do. So now let's talk some strategies. So here are 5 ways to grow your business while keeping burnout at bay. So number 1 is to prioritize your revenue generating activities. So I want you to focus on tasks that directly impact your bottom line. These are things like client work, like sales calls, or creating new products or products in general. And I want you to delegate or automate everything else. Anything that is like an admin task that can be delegated or automated, social media scheduling, all the little things that like need to get done but aren't really affecting the bottom line in terms of getting new revenue into the business or keeping up with your current revenue. Number 2, set boundaries. So clear boundaries between work and home life are absolutely non-negotiable. I want you to set specific work hours and communicate them to your family and really stick to them. I know this one can be hard, but it's really important to stick to them. When your workday ends, close the laptop, log off, and be fully present with your kids. That is so important because our kids are only little for such a short period of time. We don't want to look back and feel like we constantly were just stressing out work and didn't get time to enjoy our family and our kids while they're young. Number 3, leverage systems and automations. So I want you to use tools that simplify your workload. So for example, something like a CRM can help you manage your client communication, and automation tools can handle sending out your emails, sending out invoices, sending out proposals and contracts. The goal here is to free up your time so that you can focus on the high impact work and not be in the weeds every single day. Number 4, outsource and build a team. You really don't have to do it all yourself, and you don't have to be a solopreneur, but you also don't need to grow a full-on agency like I have. You can start small. So you can hire a virtual assistant, or if you have a podcast, maybe a podcast manager or a social media manager to take these tasks off your plate. But remember, start small if you're nervous about the cost, but remember, this is an investment in your growth, and it can really free up time in your schedule so that you're not constantly in the weeds trying to do all the things. And number 5, focus on one thing at a time. So while multitasking can kind of feel productive, it's often going to lead to lower quality work and in turn more stress. Instead, I want you to focus on one project or goal at a time. Whether that goal is launching a course or growing your podcast, give your full attention to that thing before moving on to the next thing. And this is something that I really struggle with as a multi-passionate entrepreneur. I want to be doing all the things. I always get ideas. I have ADHD, and my brain kind of takes a shift as soon as I'm like, oh, I really want to, as soon as I get an idea in my brain, I'm like, I want to take action on it now. And that is not always the best thing to do. So really try hard to avoid multitasking because it can lead you astray. So I want to share a quick little story about one of my clients before we wrap up. So this client is a mom of 2, and she was running herself ragged trying to manage both her business and her family. So after she implemented some of these strategies, like hiring a virtual assistant and really taking time to automate some of the tasks that were draining her, she not only scaled her income, but she also got back time in her day to spend with her kids. And this is what sustainably scaling looks like. It's about doing it's about doing more of the right things and getting rid of the things that don't move the needles in our getting rid of the things that don't move the needle in our business. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with 3 action steps that you can take this week to start scaling with burnout. So number 1, I want you to identify one task that you can delegate or automate and take action on. It doesn't need to be like a massive task, just one task that you can either hand over to a person, or you can use tools like Zapier or something else to automate. That's your first action step. The second action step is to set or revisit your work hours and communicate them to your family. So figure out what hours you're going to be working and stick with it. Obviously, sometimes as moms, we have things that come up, like kids get sick, or there's random days off school, or whatever that may be. But kind of on a typical week, what are your work hours? Figure them out and let your family know what they are so that you can stick to them. And then the third action step is to choose one revenue generating activity to prioritize this week and block out time for it on your calendar. A lot of the time we overstuff our calendars and we add a bunch of tasks that aren't necessarily going to move the needle. Although we're doing some tasks that are moving the needle, we do have a lot more tasks on our plate that aren't moving the needle. They just need to get done. So pick that one revenue generating activity that you're going to make a priority this week and commit to it and do it. So that is it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And I just want you to know that scaling your business doesn't have to come at the expense of your health or time with your family. By implementing these strategies, you can really grow sustainably and enjoy the journey instead of burning out. If you found this episode helpful, I would love for you to share it with a fellow mom in business. And if you haven't yet, please leave me a review on Apple Podcast. It means the world to me when I hear from you and know that you are loving the show. And if you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss an episode. Thank you so much for tuning into Moms Make Money. Until next time, keep striving for these big goals while staying true to what matters most. You've got this. I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. I'd love it if you would head on over to our free Facebook group called Moms Make Money Collective to connect with us further. If you're more of an Instagram fan, make sure you're following us on Instagram at Moms Make Money Collective. If you're loving the show, make sure to leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcast. Your feedback means the absolute world to us. We'll see you in the next episode.